All right, people have been complaining about Superman for the longest time now, and I've had enough of it. The criticism is so dumb. First off, let me tell you about me. I am a Superman fan. I love Superman. I'm very protective of the character. I'm such a fan, I actually named my child after Superman. But his name's not Superman. That would be kind of stupid. And I couldn't call him Kal-El because that would be like, what is it called? Cultural appropriation. No, but his name is Clark. When it comes to comic book snobs, I'm right up there. That's how much I love Superman. So, by internet rules, because I care about Superman so much, you would think that I would be chief among them criticizing every little thing. But that's just because the internet has taught you that complaining about stuff is how you get clout. Serenity now! Where was I? Superman. When I heard that there was going to be a new Superman, I was very excited, of course. And I was really excited when I found out that he'd wear the underpants on the outside of his pants. Who among us hasn't worn their underwear on the outside of their pants, at least on accident? It's just me. So I'm going to take all of these complaints that I've been hearing all the time, and I'm just going to go through them and rant. Issue number 1, Superman was political. No, it wasn't. I think I figured out where all of this criticism came from, and I think I can just narrow it down to one instance that happened just a couple of days before the movie came out, and it was this.
James Gunn, the director of the latest reboot movie, said, quote, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country.
That's right. James Gunn said that Superman was an immigrant. And the only way that anyone would ever be upset with this is if, 1, they didn't know that Superman came from another planet, or 2, they think that being an immigrant is inherently a bad thing. Which, if that's the case, you're a terrible person. If seeing Superman as an immigrant actually lowers your view of him, maybe, just maybe, you should think about why that is. Could it possibly be because you're watching a bunch of news channels that tell you that being an immigrant is bad?
You know what it says on his cape? MS-13.
It's so weird. It's almost as if there's entire ecosystems of news that just prey on your pre-existing prejudices in order to scare you and blame all of the country's problems on people who aren't born here. Moving on. The other thing that makes people think it's political is because in the movie, there's one fictional country that has lots of weapons that invades another bordering country that does not have as many weapons in order to take their land. The only way you would ever think that it's too political is if you're siding with the country that is invading the other country for its resources. If you were sitting in the theater going, "Rah, bully states," I don't know what to do with you. So much of this is that Superman did not change. What changed was the world around us. He's always been a good, decent hero. And bullies have always been bad. If there's something in your political life that makes you root for bullies, maybe you should be offended. Good. I hope it offends you because you suck. Sometimes I wonder if people watch Back to the Future and they're just like, man, that Biff sure is great if that Marty didn't keep getting in the way. Y'all need Jesus. If James Gunn wanted to be really political, he would have been way more overt than he was.
He's creating a moat of woke, enlightened opinion around him.
For those of you who don't live in the United States, woke is a term that lots of dumb people use whenever they are confronted with somebody who tells them to not be a butthole. Honest to goodness, this has got to be the first time in our country where we had people rooting for Lex Luthor. I got lots of theories about why that is, but let's move on. Another criticism is that it's too much like a comic book. Oh my gosh. You know that Superman was a comic book. Oh my gosh. Screw it. Next. People say that Superman was weak because he wasn't invincible. Guess what, chicken butt? He was never invincible. That's what the kryptonite is for. Listen, if you want a character that has no flaws and no weaknesses, what you're looking for is the most boring movie you've ever seen. Just screenwriting 101, if you're making a movie and you want people to root for a character, the people have to at least relate to the character in some way. A character that's one-dimensional just simply is not interesting. Case in point, every single movie that Jason Statham has ever been in, he's the same character in all of his movies, and you genuinely don't care about him. If all you're looking for is action, you can just go in your backyard and blow up a tree stump with tannerite.
Holy cow.
My attorneys have informed me that you should not blow up a tree stump with your tannerite because you could get injured, so please do not actually do that. We have to relate to the character, and you can't relate to somebody who doesn't have any faults. I personally liked that Superman got beat a few times. It makes you root for the guy. Every hero has a weakness. They have to in order for us to care about him. Iron Man's an alcoholic. Thor has daddy issues. Spider-Man is a nerd in high school. Batman beats up people instead of going to therapy. And yes, Superman is an alien from another planet who constantly feels like a fish out of water and desperately wants to fit in, even though on the inside he feels incredibly different and alone. I think most of us can relate to that feeling. And if you think that makes him weak, go ahead and slap him in the face. See what happens. Moving on! Some people say that the movie is too silly. I didn't think it was silly at all. Even with crypto, it still wasn't silly. But I can see where this criticism is coming from. It tends to come from the same group of people freaking out because he's not dark and broody and angry the way that Zack Snyder's Superman was. I'm not throwing any shade on the Snyderverse. I freaking loved Man of Steel. I loved Batman versus Superman. It did have a couple of flaws.
Save Martha!
Just gonna pretend I never saw that. But every take on Superman is different, and that's okay. There are so many people who act like a teenage boy whose mom got a divorce and now they're dating someone new. Shut up, David Corensweat. You're not my real Superman. There will always be another Superman. There's going to be another one after David Corensweat. There's going to be another one who takes another shot at it. They may set the movie in the 40s. They may make him Amish someday. I don't know. But you do realize that Superman's not real, right? Like you're aware of that? Every time there's a new Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, everybody just freaks out. Guys, enjoy it. Deal with it. No one's taking away your Snyderverse. It's there and you can go watch it anytime you want. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm taking crazy pills. Oh, I got to take my own advice and chill out for a second. And we're back. If your main example of Superman is Zack Snyder's dark and broody Superman, then yes, every other rendition is going to look much brighter and goofier than that. But that doesn't make the new rendition wrong or invalid. It's okay to say, I prefer this one to this one. But my gosh, what happened to you that makes you look at some of them and just get so angry about it? I know, I've been getting angry in this whole thing, but I'm angry at people getting angry. It's an anger inception. Sometimes Batman's goofy, sometimes Batman is serious, and sometimes he's got nipples. I say this as a fellow nerd. Just deal with it. Then again, when I see Batman shooting a gun, that does piss me off. Okay, so I'm a hypocrite. Big deal. Next one. Another complaint is that the movie is predictable. I didn't think it was predictable. But that's the bummer of making a movie. I do not envy James Gunn's job at all. Because comic book fans, along with Star Wars fans, basically dorks, you have to admit, we are the pickiest, most annoying fan base there is. If the movie resembles too much past movies, then we'll say it's nothing new and it's cliche. If the movie is different than the past movies, everybody will complain and say, not my Superman. You just have to admit, there's no winning with us. Moving on. Supergirl is drunk. Okay. If your planet blew up with everyone you love and the only thing that survived was your cousin and a dog, yeah, probably get a little tipsy yourself. By the way, a Mormon Supergirl would not be interesting at all. Moving on. Yes, Superman has lots and lots of superpowers, but his greatest superpower is the fact that he has all of those powers, but decides to do good instead of evil. He still never uses that power to rob a bank, murder an enemy, or do any of the evil things that he could easily do without being stopped. Geez, if I had X-ray vision, I'd be the world's biggest pervert. I should probably edit that out. No, I'm keeping it in there because it makes me relatable. And creepy. Some people even complained that he went out of his way to save a squirrel. I thought that was awesome. Know who else thought it was awesome? Every single female in the theater. Listen, I don't care if you get all jacked up with gigantic muscles and everything like that, but balance it out with being a nice person. Going back to politics. Some people complained that Superman never says the line,
"Truth and justice in the American way."
All right, think like a movie studio for a second. Try selling a movie with truth, justice, and the American way to a country that hates our guts. Which, fun fact, is all the countries. All of them. I don't know if you've been watching, but most of the world friggin' hates our guts.
Would you move to America in 2025?
No. You'd step over there and you already lose like 10 of the rights that you have here.
It's a disgusting place. They've got no NHS whatsoever. It's an absolute dump.
They just think they're the best. They're like, oh my God, we have freedom, but most other countries have freedom.
I don't like the culture, whether it's tipping, guns, the thoughts on abortion.
If you're dying or having a baby, why you got to pay for it?
There's nothing about America that I think I would prefer over here.
You don't have like free speech.
So yeah, leaving out the American way when the American way is actually very subjective and changes drastically every 4 years, it's a good marketing move and I can't blame them for that. Next! The movie was implausible. Yeah, none of it's plausible. The movie is about a dude who can fly and shoots lasers out of his eyeballs. No, it's not plausible. None of it is. None of it is believable. That's what makes it awesome. Have you seen a movie? Like outside of documentaries, have you seen a movie? Good gravy. None of it's real. It was never real. Seriously, do you watch the Muppets and you're just like, I don't believe a frog could play the banjo? What do you have against fun? Seriously, calm down. Just calm down. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. It's okay. Listen, I don't want to fight. I really don't. So let me just leave you with one unifying statement to bring us all together as fans, okay? No matter how bad a comic book movie is, it'll still never be worse than Twilight. What can I say? I'm a unifier.